What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, and I'm here to bring to you my takeaways and analysis video for this week's game versus Maryland. Not a whole lot to say in this game. If you had watched my predictions video, I really didn't have a whole lot to say as far as that goes. And to be honest with you, the reason why is because Maryland really is not a good team. So there's not a whole lot of strategy that was going to be involved. I just said, let's just go in there, get the victory, look pretty dominant in doing so, and move on to the next game. And that's what happened in this game. Cade looked pretty good. The red zone offense looked pretty good. We had our opportunities, scored for the most part touchdowns. Did kick the one field goal, but that was because we got that 15-yard penalty, which negated an actual touchdown that we had to Roman Wilson. So, but you can take all that with a grain of salt. Why? Because it was against Maryland. So we played well. All facets of the game. Whether it be offense, defense, special teams, everyone played well. It was good to see that Blake Corum was on the sidelines and could have played if we really wanted him to, but obviously was not necessary. So hopefully that means for next week that he'll be available, and we're going to need him definitely because now I'll give more detail about the game against with Michigan State and Ohio State after I give my breakdown of this game, but just briefly, I said in the previous video that I wanted to, and I did watch the game from start to finish. I wanted to see if there was any positives or any information that could be taken from watching the video of Michigan State, Ohio State, that Michigan could use in their favor for the game next week. And in all honesty, the only positive thing that I could take from that, or the only information or only takeaway that I could get from that is, honestly, let's just hope and pray that that's not us. That's the only thing I can take away from that. Whatever Michigan State did, let's do the opposite of that. Whatever their plan was, let's not do that plan. That's the only takeaway I can get from that. I know it sounds terrible, but when you get curb stomped like that, there's nothing positive that you could take away from that. The game was over pretty much in the first quarter. They didn't do anything right. The whole theory about, their pass defense isn't that bad. I know it's last in all of college football, but there's reasons for that, and man, that was embarrassing. I don't know how these. Now I think it was only because they wanted to sell, the viewers that this was going to be a good game, a competitive game, to get people to watch. Because some of the analysis that I heard before the game, as far as that game goes, about their pass defense is not that good because of this and because of that. And one guy I heard say, well, it's because other teams are down when they play Michigan State, so they're always constantly throwing, so that adds up to the passing yards. And I'm thinking to myself, that sounds so stupid, because if that would be the case, Georgia should be the worst pass defense in the whole entire country, because nobody's beating them. They're always winning. They're always ahead. So that theory is stupid. and it proved stupid today. No, Michigan State is bad at pass defense. And no, it's not because of all these reasons. Their secondary just sucks. I mean, that's all there is to it. So many wide open touchdowns. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And the only reason that they didn't score more is because they just chose not to. The score was 49-0 at halftime. You don't think they could have put up another 49 if they wanted to? So, it is what it is. But I'm going to get back to our game. I'm going to hopefully maybe talk about that a little bit later on in this video. But we played well overall. Like I said, no major injuries. Everyone, contributed. Not anything. Donovan Edwards had a very good game. So, shout out to Donovan Edwards. Had a really, really good game. Almost like a coming out party, so to speak. But, of course, it was against Maryland. So, I hate to say that, because, it is what it is. They didn't offer too much resistance. And, a lot of wide open space, I'll just say that much. So we improved to 10-1. It really sucks that we lost, that game versus Michigan State. But it is what it is. Can't take that back. We just have to keep moving forward. At the end of the day, because Ohio State curb stomped Michigan State, we're right back where we're in control of our own destiny. So, in essence, it didn't matter whether we were 11-0 or 10-1. We still, at the end of the day, are going to have to beat Ohio State in order to make the playoff. So it didn't matter whether we lost to Michigan State or not. It's all going to boil down to this game anyways. So we have to take care of business. And, that's all there is to it. So I'm going to just give my gradings as far as the positions go. Starting on offense, I think that, offensive line played really, really well. There was a lot of instances where Cade had all day to sit back and throw. And that could only be done by a testament of two things. One, Maryland might have a very bad pass rush, which is pretty much part of the case. But more so, the offensive line allowed him the time to sit back there and wait for his wide receivers to get open. So I'm going to give them an A for today's game, just because of that. The running backs, also going to give an A. Donovan Edwards, like I mentioned before, had himself a game. 10 receptions, 170 yards. That's the type of stat line you should be hoping for your number one wide receiver. Of course, we don't have one. So it's good to see Donovan Edwards get some meaningful playing time. I know most of that is because Blake Corum has been out, but he was in there last week and didn't do a whole lot. So we didn't do a good job rushing the football this week, but I guess it didn't matter since we scored 59 points. But overall the running backs, Edwards had 170 yards receiving and a touchdown. Haskins had a couple of rushing touchdowns. So definitely give them an A for that. Tight ends, Luke Schoonmaker seems like our go-to guy in the red zone and short yardage situations. Had another touchdown again this week. So, along with him blocking really, really well, didn't see a whole lot of air call, but I'm sure that's because of his ankle and situation. So, we'll see more of him definitely next week. So I'm going to give them a B. Not anything out of the ordinary, but very effective in the red zone again and did their part, played their part. Wide receivers, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna give them a B plus, maybe even an A minus. I mean, they had some very spectacular acrobatic catches, one-arm catches. Mike Sainristil's touchdown, very, very good, amazing concentration. You know, still no one wide receiver that is decided to step up and be that number one guy. So it's almost by committee. And there's pros and cons to that. You know, it's good to see that it's not just relying on like one or two guys to catch balls, but it becomes a problem when you gotta get that, say, 4 or 5 yards. Who are you going to? So, you know, they played really well overall. So I'm gonna give them a B, or a B plus or A minus for their effort. The quarterbacking, Cade and JJ had a really, really good game. Cade was just under 300 yards. Played well. One thing that is a concern, this needs to be fixed, because this happened. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really seen this happen a whole lot. Maybe I've seen it happen like once, but this has happened to Cade 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Twice against our guys, once against the opponents. What am I talking about? Hitting our guy in the back of the helmet with a pass. I've never seen that before, and it's happened back-to-back weeks. So the only thing I can do is I can blame that on Cade with his arm angles and his timing. Like, there's no excuse for that. There's no reason why he should be throwing it off the back of somebody's head. Now, if the ball gets batted down, you tip your hat to the defender for timing it right, getting in the passing lane, anticipating the pass, getting your arm up, and knocking down the pass. That happens. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of the game. But hitting your guy in the back of the head with the football, that's inexcusable. So that's one mechanic that definitely needs to be changed. He's got to work on that. So that's it for the offense. Defense, starting with the defensive line, I'm going to give them maybe a C. And the reason why is they didn't really get too much pressure. Didn't get any sacks, I don't think. The only 2 sacks came from the linebacker in the garbage time and Vincent Gray. So I was kind of disappointed that they've been hyping up Aiden and David Jabo all week as far as them being this tandem and being unguardable and unstoppable and unblockable. And there was instances where they got through and put a lot of pressure on Talua, but not enough to get a sack. There are some instances where they cause an errant throw or cause them to rush, but they couldn't get home this game for whatever reason. Maryland was able to run the football pretty effectively, so that's a concern as well. As far as the linebackers go, linebackers had a decent game, not anything extraordinary, anything like that, but did the job. So I'm going to give them a B for that. No blown coverages this go around or missed assignments or anything like that. I think overall they played pretty well. The secondary, give them an A. Obviously, when you get a pick 6, that's always going to bump up your rating. Plus, overall they played well. No huge plays given up. Maryland had their yards, but for the most part, those yards were spread out over the course of the game. there's no chunk plays or huge gains that they gave up or anything like that. So, I'm going to give them an A for that. I feel as though that they earned that. Special teams, A+. What can I say? You had made field goal, kick return, block punt. What more could you ask for from your unit as far as special teams go? Like I said, we got our hands full next week. I'm going to talk more in detail about that, obviously, in my predictions video that I'm going to make for our game. So, obviously, I'm not going to say everything that needs to be said in this video. But it is concerning that you're hoping to use this game versus Ohio State as a barometer, as far as how well we're going to be able to play these guys. I'm pretty sure anybody that's a hardcore Michigan fan or one that talks a lot of junk or anything like that, you'll be disappointed. But we got our hands full next week. I'm not going to say that we don't have a chance to win. I think we're a better team than Michigan State. Even though we lost to Michigan State, even in that game, I thought that the better team didn't win that game. So we have a much, much better pass defense than Michigan State does. So it's not going to be the same outcome, but what's going to be key is being able to, keep the game, relatively close. Take what Penn State did, what Nebraska did, what Tulsa did, whatever they did to keep the game close, we need to mirror that and match that effort. So, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what the line is going to be for the game. I know we're going to be underdogs even though we're at home, but we're not going to be no 19-point underdog, I'll tell you that much. But it might be like 7.5 points that we're giving up, once they do that. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. So anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked my video, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. It definitely helps out my channel. Let me know how you felt in the comment section below. Are you shocked with the result between the Michigan State and Ohio State game? Do you honestly feel as though we have a chance to win that game? Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. And if you like my content, subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. I try to make at least 2 videos, if not 3, per week. And, I've been doing that for the last few years. So if you like my content, you've been watching it for a while, just subscribe to the channel if you can. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel as big as possible. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, and as always, go blue.